We just got out of Fantastic Four, one of summer's big superhero blockbusters, and what
Boy.
a fan-fucking-tastic waste of time that was. Oh my god.
It was so bad.
Now that was a superhero film, right?
I think
and
so.
superhero films, I think, are supposed to be fun. So why did it feel like for the first hour I was watching an episode of
Law
fucking
and Order.
C-SPAN?
Yeah, I don't
And then
know.
the second hour was just a bunch of muddled bullshit. It felt like 7 different movies happening at once, and no one knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a disaster.
It was really bad.
It was really bad.
I mean, I had heard it was bad. I knew going in it was bad. I was
Going in,
prepared for it to be
we
bad.
knew it had like a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think it's probably the worst superhero movie I've ever seen.
It's one of the more like
And there's some
baffling
bad ones.
movies I've ever seen. I
Yeah.
feel like I can't even say that that's a superhero movie. It didn't feel like
Oh
one.
god, it was so drab. Like
it
what
was so drab and emotionless and
I mean,
humorless.
first off,
no sense
Fantastic
of fun.
Four, I mean, it's worth noting, it's one of the kind of sillier, we were kind of talking about this before. It's sort of nutty. I mean, the guy can stretch,
It's silly. They're like kind of a family team.
It kind of falls in, it's kind of from another time. And it, in my mind, it kind of falls in the same category as like Ant-Man, where it just, you got to take it with a certain lightness. It's pretty ridiculous.
Any lightness. And they went the
was
complete
so serious.
opposite
This was
direction.
trying to be like the Dark Knight of Fantastic Four.
I was so bored. There's nothing even happens for the first hour.
No.
And it honestly, I can't harp on it enough like how just strange it was and how just bland and
Let's just run through how this movie starts. Like it opens with like a young, I don't even know the character's name. I didn't.
Two child actors. I hate to say it because they're kids, but terrible actors.
Terrible kid actors, and they're the two of the Fantastic Four as kids, and they're like I don't know 8 or something, and
whatever.
the head guy, the head main character. I don't remember his name. That's how much I didn't care.
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards.
And he builds this thing in his garage.
He builds the first transportation device at age 8.
And he
Nobody trusts him.
presents it, and like it's amazing what he can do, and the science
Shuts down
teacher's
the
like,
power in a
you
block.
get an F
Yeah.
because that's too.
He turns it on, and it like shuts down the whole power grid, and then it fast forwards to like, I don't know, 5-10 years later. I don't know.
Okay, well, this is what happens. Next thing we know, we pick up with this boy genius, Reed Richards, and his friend Ben, and they have that teleportation thing.
But they're grown up. Like, I mean, they've noticeably aged at least 10 years.
And they're at a science fair.
But they're at a science fair.
And they demonstrate that, and, clearly they send something away, and it comes back with, like, dust and rocks from another planet or dimension on it, and the same science teacher is like, you
This is
failed.
stupid.
Yeah. And it's like, what? That's amazing.
But can we talk about the
But
fact
don't worry,
that
because around the corner comes a guy who's with this school. It's a
They're
lot like
school.
NASA. There are scientists who are adults and everything, but it's a school for like gifted kids.
like X-Men maybe?
who
I don't
probably
know.
should have found him when he was 8.
I think it was a college.
The only kids there were like the Fantastic Four kids.
Yeah,
and
they're
there
running
were
the place.
dorm rooms, but everything else was just like NASA.
But
It was like Hogwarts, but instead of like having like fun like magic and stuff, it was just like 3 of them and a bunch of like techno babble bullshit that meant nothing.
Yeah. But what was crazy to me, it was like why did we see an age change in the kid? He's like, it didn't make any sense because it's like first he's a little kid with a science project. He should have been at the science fair when he was 8. They should have done that scene there, and then they take him away to like NASA to train him as a kid.
Yeah.
But no. Instead, he invents this teleporter. Then ages 10 years. Then he's at a science fair, and it's like, is he in high school? I don't understand.
All the other kids were like
the kids
8.
next to him are tiny, and he's like full grown. Reed Richards.
I mean, I'm glad someone finally noticed his kids can teleport,
but he's doing the same thing.
but
Somebody hires him,
15
and he
years.
immediately goes to New York City to work for him. And there's no conflict.
And
Like,
they say
I don't
it's
know
a
how
school,
old he.
but it's not a school. It's not a school if you have 3 kids and then adult scientists. It's not a fucking
I don't know
school.
how old they were supposed to be. The whole time I didn't know how old they were supposed to be.
And
Because he immediately goes off to school. He doesn't even talk to his parents, or there's no conflict. It's like you're working at NASA on the most expensive project. And guys there know NASA, but they don't call NASA until they finished it. The kids built it. They finished it.
now,
like, let's call NASA.
at this school for gifted children, which it's not, they have the 4 of them working on like that kid, Reed Richards' teleportation device and like basically making it to send humans over this other dimension. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's what's happening. And it might even sound cool or fun or, whoa, that's interesting. It's not. It's dumb.
It's not fun at all.
And basically they put these 4 like kind of like 18-year-old-ish kids in charge of this ginormous responsibility thing, like to build this thing.
And there's like no checks and balances.
And they just all like do it. They're like, oh, we're good at this.
Yeah.
And they build it. And then
also,
like,
can we talk about like Johnny Storm's like he's like I didn't even get the impression that he was a scientist.
Poor Michael B. Jordan.
He's like,
how do you waste Michael B. Jordan like
that?
He's
like racing cars, and then his dad like comes in and gives him a talk like, you need to come back.
He's like, you're in trouble.
Work for me. And it's
like, so you're gonna have to come and build this like.
It was like but it was another situation where it's just like I feel like that character is like in his 20s, but he's like being treated like he's 12.
Yeah.
His dad like sits him down in the car, so you can't have your car back. You're grounded. You got to come work at NASA to get your car back.
Yeah.
Like these things don't line up.
But he naturally fit in there. And was,
he's like, all right, I'm gonna come back. I'm just doing it for my car. But he's like a genius apparently. But he can't have his own damn car. Like, and they're so. But what does that do? It establishes that he's terribly irresponsible, right?
Yeah.
These are all irresponsible teenagers.
And
they get drunk for the first time.
They get drunk and they decide, you know, we're gonna
go to another dimension.
And they go, okay, and like they're exposed to this like you know, the other dimension that has like this energy like explosion.
A really boring sequence, by the way.
Yeah, and they go and they all get these horrible kind of powers, and that's always been like the thing is like not the thing, but what the Fantastic Four is. They're exposed to radiation.
They get powers.
Classic
superheroes.
The powers are, there's the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, who can build force fields and can turn invisible. There's Reed Richards, who can stretch his arms and stuff. That's it. Then there's Johnny Storm, Sue's brother, who can turn into like a big flame and shoot flames and fly.
I hated it.
And then there's poor Ben Grimm, Reed Richards' childhood best friend, who he wakes up in the middle of the night to go with him to this other dimension after he's drunk, and he gets the worst power of all, and he turns into this big giant rock thing.
Yeah.
And no one fixes him.
And then relieves him for a year.
Yeah.
And government control.
And the government makes this big rock thing, who's just a high school kid.
Worked at a junkyard.
Walk and just like destroy, like, I guess ISIS and shit. And like the thing, I felt so bad for him because no one tried to fix him. Like, it sucks being a giant rock.
And they all get locked back in their rooms.
Oh, also, I have a question. Okay, the thing is a giant rock, right?
Yeah.
He can talk and stuff. How does he use the bathroom?
Or eat? I was wondering about that.
Or eat?
But he has regular eyeballs.
But
everything else is rock.
He doesn't have the other parts.
It's magic. But even like regardless of that, like we gotta go back to the point where Reed gets drunk, calls Grimm, and Grimm's back in his hometown.
Yeah.
Which I don't know the distance here. It doesn't make any sense. But they're clearly in like a big city. It's the middle of the night. They're decided they're gonna go to this other dimension. It's like, hey, I'm not doing it without you. But he's been working on this thing for weeks. It's like you think he would have called him to bring him in before then.
You think.
But anyway, he's like, okay, he wakes up in the middle of the night. He's like, okay, I'm going to go with you to another dimension tonight. He's like, you're drunk. He's like, yeah, I'm drunk. He's like, but I'm going to come. He shows up. They walk right in. They say, oh, he's with me, like to the guard. It's like, this is like NASA. They got no security.
No one's watching to see like this thing they have to like make sure like no one just jumps
and so they
in
all
it and
just
goes to the other
suit up
dimension.
and just go to another dimension.
Just like that. But again, this all sounds ridiculous, and it should be like kind of treated as such.
No, it's dead serious.
It's dead fucking serious.
It's
like
so cold.
So serious, like you have no idea. Like it was like you're watching like it had like this the tone.
I mean, they could have cast Daniel Day-Lewis in this movie.
Period. Yeah, I mean, it was deadly serious and so bad. And then it was just like
nobody was having any fun making it.
No one was having fun. You could tell no one could
like
have
the
fun.
actors are screaming behind their eyes.
I don't know what the overall like story was. It went like it would do one thing that took like forever, and then it would go warp speed and try to go like into another thing.
Okay, so what happens is eventually there's a fifth Fantastic Four member, and he's Victor Von Doom.
Yeah,
he's
the bad one.
Dr. Doom.
Okay.
They leave him behind in the dimension after everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then the government spends a year trying to rebuild the machine, and they decide they can't do it without Reed, so they get Sue to help them find Reed, and Sue does it in like 10 seconds. She just had to be talked into it. After a year, All these people built this like just a little while ago, casually.
Yeah, the one that went over the other dimension that they left behind.
He's in Mexico for some reason. I don't know what he's trying to rebuild it himself. I don't know. But you think he'd go back to them because they're going to be building it.
Okay, let me also just say that the actors involved are all good actors.
It's a great
Kate
cast.
Barra, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan.
It reminded me of
Jamie
Star
Bell,
Wars.
and they were given nothing
It reminded me of the Star Wars prequels.
It was
you get
horrible.
Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, it's just sad
It's
to
just
watch.
like that.
It was
It's just
such
like
a
that.
bummer.
They're screaming
and it was
inside.
such a bad movie that it gave me a headache. I have a headache. I'm upset a little bit.
It's
and
so
like,
bad.
I can't urge you enough. If you're even at all
Don't
thinking
even
about
think
going,
about it. Don't
you fucking dare go to this film.
They do not
It's
need your
so
money.
Bad.
Do not give them your
they
money.
don't need your money, and you've got better things to do.
They need to be
You're
grounded.
Thinking, I don't have better things to do. You do. You have anything is better to do with 2 hours than go see that
I
muddled
don't
piece
wanna-
of shit.
I don't
Because
wanna
it doesn't even
hear-
make sense.
I don't
It's
wanna
not even
hear
like,
about-
It's not even a fun bad movie where
No.
you can kind of laugh.
No, it was
like we were
miserable.
kind of laughing, but it's not fun. It's a bad experience. Instead,
It doesn't
you
make
should
any sense.
go outside and stare at the sun for 2 hours. That's a better thing to do with your time than see this piece of trash because it's so mind-boggling. It's almost interesting. Like I would think we should send it to someone to study and be like, "What is this? What the
I just don't
fuck is
understand how
this?"
nobody could have reeled that thing in. I mean, the script is so stupid. It is just.
Oh, it's so stupid. And the
It doesn't
first
make any
hour is
sense.
all exposition bullshit, technobabble, and then
Let's
it's
not
like they
forget
hit like
that
a
we've already made this movie,
yeah,
which
and
I
then
never saw
It's
the
like
other
they
ones.
pull a giant lever, and suddenly they're
They're
off
in-
to a final battle,
which is
It's
so
like,
boring.
What? How do we get? How we get there? And
They
the
just
battle is horrible.
instantly
and boring.
get there, nobody
the effects
cares.
are shitty. I don't know what they're doing.
They have to work together. It's over like that.
The
They
fight,
just work
there's
together
no
and beat
fun
them.
like fight scenes at
No.
all. The final battle is like not
There's
even.
not
really
even
a fight
like
scene.
any cool part where they like he's making fun of the fact that
They
he can
barely
stretch.
use the.
He can freaking stretch across the room. There's not like a
Like,
single joke
there's
about
a-
the fact that he can stretch.
There's a great part in like the final battle. Dr.
It's
Doom's like
serious.
standing there, and Reed just goes stretches and punches him.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Well, and this was after, like, there was the classic, like, they all each try a shot at him, and it's like the Ninja Turtles thing. Like, they each try it, and they can't beat Shredder on their own.
It's totally
They have to work
Ninja
together.
Turtles. But Ninja Turtles did a much better job of it.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, after they've each, like, been defeated, and then they realize they gotta work together, they still basically work independently.
Yeah.
And Reed
They're like,
still
"What's
just
the plan,
ends up
Reed?"
punching him
and
by
they
stretching.
come up with a plan, and
And
it
it
starts
doesn't-
with Reed going.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's not a plan.
No, he just did the same thing again, and it
there's-
worked.
And you know, even like a bad superhero film, you can get like a cool action sequence out of it.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, I could watch a bad superhero film and then say like, "Oh man, there's a Human Torch shooting fire at people. Like
Yeah.
this is a cool." You know,
There wasn't a single cool moment
Not any of
showing
that.
off, not
It-
even showing off their power. And usually
it was like if you made Fantastic Four and instead of instead of it being,
I feel like I'm gonna
it was like
get
My
wrecked.
Dinner with Andre with Michael, with like Fantastic Four characters. Like My Dinner with Andre is just a film with two people having dinner. That's all the film is. It's actually a good
Oh.
film. That's like what this film was, except with those four people because they
it
did
was
nothing.
so bad.
It was so bad.
Felt so bad for everyone involved.
I just
Except
felt
for
bad,
Josh
too.
Trank. I've got no sympathy
I
for
almost
that
felt
motherfucker.
bad about how the director Josh Trank was getting like
Yeah.
slammed for this thing. I was almost like,
No, he
geez,
has
I wonder if it's like that
complete
bad.
responsibility.
I mean, I just don't like
There's
him as
no
a
way.
person, and I don't even know him.
I don't give a damn. There's no sympathy. Oh, the studio made you. There's a million better superhero movies where studios work to somebody.
Blur.
You shot this like a serious fucking drama. You chose to do that, Josh Trank.
It's a fantastic mess.
It's a mess.
It's
The last big movie of the summer, and it is. Ooh. Go back to school. You'll have more fun in school.
I feel like I was in school. I was like, oh, Sue, I can recognize patterns.
What should we call it? We need a name for our team.
So
Hey,
tough.
isn't this place fantastic? Oh, I got it.
What did you say? Fantastic.
Oh, damn it. Overheated. Hold on, we gotta wrap this up.
Camera over
GoPro,
here.
make a camera that can cool itself a little better.
Yeah.
Or that can mount without the plastic case that doesn't let it ventilate.
Yeah, you can let it. You build something indestructible. Just make it better with heat.
Not, I mean, it's hot,
It's
but I mean, we
hot.
got the air conditioner
It's
on.
not that bad in here.
So, just to wrap up, Fantastic Four is a piece of shit. Don't see it.
We didn't like it.
It was really bad. It was really bad. Everybody should be ashamed. Never make another one again.
I hope no one. Well,
Ever.
now everyone will know we saw it. I'm about to go inside and make a drink. That's what that movie did to me. But if you'd like to see more of our reviews, please subscribe.
Subscribe to our
Ride Home
channel.
Review. If you disagree with us, comment.
Let us know what you want us to review.
Yeah,
There's
we'll-
been some movies we haven't
We'll
reviewed
clearly
yet.
see anything.
I mean, it really just takes a single person with one comment. We'll probably go see something.
Yeah.
So, what do you think your favorite movie of the summer was, Kimmer? We've seen, this is our 11th episode, but since one of them was our own movie, basically we saw 10 movies this summer.
Does Ex Machina count?
That counts. That was our second one. Yeah, I think that's
That's up there.
I think it's a tie for me between Ex Machina and Mad Max.
Good flicks.
And then maybe
And Mad Max did feel more like a summer
Jurassic
film.
World. Yeah.
I like
But-
Paul Blart 2 better than Fantastic
Paul Blart
Four.
2 runs laps around Fantastic
It
Four.
does, man. It segues laps around it.
I mean,
It makes it look.
if next what Fox should do is reboot Fantastic Four for the third time.
No, they
cast Kevin James, and so he's not only stretchy but he's fat.
Let Arnold. I mean, not Arnold. That would be funny. Let Adam Sandler do it.
Yeah,
He'll have fun with it.
yeah.
You know, you can put Schneider in as the.
I mean, that
Torch
would
or
be
whatever.
better. I mean, we didn't see Pixels, but you know,
I wish
it got better reviews than this did.
Yeah.
I think we got here like faster than I think I was like gunning it because I was so angry.
I know.
We got back fast. Oh man.
God. Well, yeah. Ugh.
All right, that's it. That's our review.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave this one on an angry note. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.